Hello guys, this is Venkatesh Chaturvedi. Uh, let's see how many people are there. Are people online? Am I online? Can you just comment? Can you just comment below whether I am audible and I'm visible to you guys? Yeah. Hi, this is Venkatesh Chaturvedi, an educator on Unacademy, and this is directly from the Unacademy newsroom, and we are continuing this particular newsroom again. Uh, So what will happen is that myself Venkatesh and Abhishek Srivastava, both of us will alternatively take these sessions every day at around 10:30 in the morning. So between 10:30 and 11, we'll be live. We'll be going live daily and discussing a very important issue and a hot topic of discussion, which is in news. So, like for instance, today I'll be taking up the topic of ease of doing business ranking, which is a lot in news in the last 3-4 days, and it's something which is to be lauded. So, such certain topics of such issues will be taken up by me and Abhishek Srivastava. So, for instance, I am live today. Tomorrow at the same time on the same channel, Abhishek Srivastava will go live, and so on. All right. So let's see so let's go on with the topic, and I'll try to be as bilingual as possible. I'll try to pitch in the issue from English as well as in Hindi. So मैं हिंदी में भी आपको समझाता रहूँगा. So so that the people who have a problem in either of the language understand it. So लोगों को हिंदी या इंग्लिश किसी एक में भी हल्का सा समझ में प्रॉब्लम है, so I'll try कि दोनों को समझ में आए. Alright, so I'll try to be as bilingual as possible. So let's discuss the ease of doing business ranking. Ease of doing business ranking को हम समझते हैं. Important क्यों है? क्योंकि इंडिया 30 रैंक से ऊपर गया. Imagine 30 रैंक्स. We were at 130 last year. Right now we are at 100. हम लोग 130 से 100 रैंकिंग पे पहुंच गए, which is something to be lauded, something which is to be credited, and something which is to be proud about. Alright, हमको इस पे बहुत गर्व होना चाहिए. Alright, सबसे पहला इशू है जो हमें पता होना चाहिए कि ये कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इसको निकालता है. Which organization releases this particular ranking, ease of doing business ranking? Because in prelims or in mains for UPSC perspective, such a question can always be asked, right? So it is released by the World Bank. So that is to be noted. It is released by the World Bank. All right. And what is the significance? The significance largely is that it is the highest jump. It is one of the highest jump a country has ever made. So ये सबसे बड़ा jump था कोई भी country ने जो अभी तक अपना बनाया है इस index में. So you can see that it is something which is no other country has done it, right? So it is something to be proud about, right? So, and it also shows that the government reforms are working in this domain, in the ease of doing business, which is a mantra of Modinomics as such. So this particular it is an indicator. ये indicator है, ये ranking का change एक indicator है कि जो Modinomics है वो इन domains में जिसमें parameter में judge किया जा रहा है, it is working in those domains. All right. Obviously, there is still a lot of work to be done. There are many domains to focus more about. There are so many social indicators yet which are not addressed to. But still, if we see these parameters, if we see the parameters जो ease of doing business के domain में है, for getting new investment, for FDI को attract करने के लिए, for setting up new to set up new companies in the country, for startup ecosystem, this is a positive indicator as such. All right. So the thing is, there are two things which I want to talk about, which most of the newspapers have also not talked about, but it is important in my opinion for UPSC perspective, because just knowing बस ये पता कर लेना कि हम लोग की रैंक बढ़ गई is not enough, and it is not even enough कि कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये रैंकिंग निकालती है, because it is a very important indicator, it's a very important index. इसलिए हमको ये भी पता होना चाहिए, we should even know that what or sub parameters and parameters are we being judged upon, and what are our individual ranking, because that will show that हम लोग कहाँ लैग कर रहे हैं, and हम लोग कहाँ पर कहाँ पर हम लोग को इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है, एंड कहाँ पर हम लोग ऑलरेडी काफ़ी अच्छा हो चुके हैं. ऑलराइट, एंड वी कैन ऑल्सो सी दैट कौन कौन सी करंट अफेयर्स में पॉलिसीज हैं, कौन सी ऐसी हैपनिंग्स हैं विच वुड हैव लेड अस टू दिस पर्टिकुलर रैंक शिफ्ट, राइट. So the thing is, the one important term which we should know before proceeding is DTF, which is distance to frontier. ये एक measure है इस particular indicator में, it's a measure in the indicator जो which judges each economy by the frontier. एक बेंचमार्क फ्रंटियर को सेट किया गया है विच इज द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग कंट्री, एंड हम लोग उससे कितने क्लोज जाते हैं, दैट इज शोन बाय DTF. So if you ever hear about DTF, distance to frontier in regards to ease of doing business, you should know that the best performing country हम उनसे कितने क्लोज जा रहे हैं, that is what is shown by DTF. And our points, our pointers, and how much we progress, हम कितना progress कर रहे हैं, ये इस DTF pointer से निकलता है. Alright, it is in it's in the range of 0 to 100. Alright, so all the parameters which are there, जितने भी parameters हैं, जितने भी benchmarks हमने set किए गए हैं for ease of doing business, उनको 0 to 100 में mark किया जाता है, which is through DTF. And the ranking is between 1 to 190. So 190 countries are there which are being ranked. If it's 1 to 190, where we stand at 100. All right. So now let's see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points on which the ease of doing business ranking is, the parameters are being judged upon. So the first one is that starting a business. How easy is it to start a business in a country like in India, right? That is the first parameter. The second parameter is dealing with the construction permits, because construction is something which is a lot of which holds a lot of importance in ease of doing business. Business cannot start if the construction does not happen. All right. So the permits of construction is the second parameter. The third parameter is getting electricity. After you establish a firm, after you start a business, you register yourself, you construct your building, you need electricity to function, right? Like for instance, whenever an academy would have established, we would have required a base infrastructure, we would have required an obviously electricity connection. Then the third is registering a property. So how easily the property gets registered, that is the fourth parameter. The fifth parameter is getting credit. So getting loans from the banks, getting microfinance. So all those parameters are also being judged to see how easy is it to start a new business, how easy is it for a business to sustain in a country like India, right? Then the next parameter is protecting minority investors, because not only protecting the investor, but the minority investors is something which is a benchmark, which is an important parameter which the ease of doing business ranking considers. Then we have paying taxes. So how easy is it to pay taxes? What is the tax structure? How transparent and how lucid is the tax structure? And so those things are also judged upon. The next is trading across borders, because obviously if a business is there, and in the era of globalization, a lot of trade happens between the countries, and how easy is it for trade to happen within the across the borders is also an important parameter. The next is enforcing contracts. The thing is, the major problem which India right now, I'll also talk about it. You will also get it in the just a second. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Yeah, so you'll also get that through the rankings which are there, that how well we are performing. So that is enforcing of contracts. How legally binding are the enforcement of contracts? If someone does not comply, what happens next? What is the grievance redressal mechanism? How well the judiciary functions? So that is also judged. And finally, we have the insolvency resolution. So how fast the bankruptcy and the insolvency cases get resolved is also an important issue. So you can see, if you have been following current affairs in the recent past, you will see several measures being taken on these accounts, and several you can also observe that several would have not been addressed to a large extent. So let me highlight the same to you. Like in getting electricity, there has been a lot of news about the Deen Dayal Upadhyay electricity mission, then the recent Saubhagya scheme as well. So you can see there is a lot of emphasis on getting electricity. Therefore we fared very well and got a rank of 29 out of the 190 countries, which is a good ranking, right? Next, where we performed very well again with a rank of 29 is getting credit. And getting credit, because there have been a lot of banking reform, there have been a lot of microfinance facilities provided. So because of that we we increased by a 10 point percent. So you can see the increase of 10 point percent there is credible, and a rank of 29 is also very good. Then the best performing parameter was protecting minority investors. So we have been doing one of the best in protecting minority investors with a rank of 4. So you can imagine a rank of 4. But if you see rest of the parameters, so if you see starting a business, we fare at 156, which is not very good. So we can improve whole lot there. The worst where we perform is dealing with construction permits. So still the construction permits are not being granted with the ease with which it is expected to, and therefore there is a lot of problem. बहुत problem है start business करने में, बहुत problem है अभी भी construction permit करने में. With the construction permit में we still have a rank of 156. I mean 181. You can see out of 190 we stand in 181, which is pathetic at least, least to say. Then again. Enforcing contracts is also where we lack with a 164 ranking. So you can see that a lot of things are being done in these domains in terms of enforcing contracts, in terms of starting business, in terms of construction permits, but still the ranking has not yet improved. All right. So let's go further. हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. So in a nutshell अगर देखा जाए तो dealing with construction permits, starting a business, electricity पाना, then property registration, paying taxes are the major benchmarks which are being targeted. All right. Then important thing is कि how are these being targeted, how are these being judged upon. ये जो हमने 8-9 parameters को किए, so what are the broad parameters on which the ease of doing business indicate ranking is is being done. So the 3 things which you should know is the procedure, the ease of procedure. The second is the time, how long or how short does it take to get things done, and the third is the cost, how costly are these things. For instance, if you take getting electricity, so what is the procedure of applying for electricity, what is the procedure, what is the gestation time, how much time it will take for the electricity to actually be provided, and how much does it cost. So broadly these things would be there indispensably in all the 8-9 parameters, and then there are certain small कुछ छोटी छोटी चीजें और भी हैं in addition to procedure, time and cost जिसको जज करते हैं. So that is all what you need to know. Then the thing is why this jump happened actually, कि आपने देखा कि हम लोगों ने क्रेडिट पाने में, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पाने में और प्रोटेक्ट करना माइनॉरिटी इन्वेस्टर में काफ़ी अच्छा अच्छा इसमें हमने परफॉर्म किया. इनफैक्ट पेइंग टैक्सेस में अगर आप देखें जो पेइंग टैक्सेस है उसमें हमारे 119 रैंकिंग है, विच इज़ okay, which is not very good, but it is okay. But the increase in the percentage point is the phenomenal. It is 118 118%. I mean 18%. So it increased by 118, 18% increase हुआ है, right? So that is why you can see that the tax reforms have eventually paid off in terms of this ranking at least, right? So then also in terms of resolving insolvency, we have increased by 8% points, right? So you can see that so why this jump happened, why these jumps have happened, why are we performing well, why 130 rank increase. So the document itself talks about these reforms. So let's see one by one. So the starting of business improved because of the merger of the PAN, the permanent account number, and the tax account number. So TAN and PAN, which were separate entities, as separate applications, so have been now merged as a single application. And therefore also there was an inclusion of online application system and an improvement in the online application system. So you can see wherever we will actually go online, we'll go into e-governance, the ranking and hence the ease of doing business would increase. The second important point was making deal with the construction permits which were made less cumbersome, but still the ranking has not increased, though throughout the 8 parameters, the 9 parameters which we talked about, our percentage points have increased. In every domain we have increased, but the ranking of construction is at 181, which is pathetic. So despite of making it online, despite of the efforts, there's still a lot of things to be done to increase the construction permits as well, right? So that is something to be noted, that despite of increasing by 30 rankings, we still have to work upon the construction permits, right? Then the new law on bankruptcy and insolvency has paid off. It is something, though it is still it's still being fine tuned. The smaller parameters are still being bettered every day. Yet the implementation, the execution, and the enactment of the law itself improved our perception of India as a whole to the investors, because they would feel that if they go bankrupt, if they go insolvent, then there is a good resolution mechanism in India, and they can always go out of the country if they want, right? So that is the third thing. The fourth thing is minority investment protection, obviously, because yeah, the prejudicial transaction between the interested parties is something which is there. Not every resolution is done at the judicial level. There are out of the court settlements as well, which are being strengthened and are present in the country. Therefore, the minority investment protection is something which is we rank well there. Then we have the National Judicial Data Grid, which was introduced in 2015 and is being implemented, which increased our ranking for resolution as well. All right. Then finally two more important things, which is the paid maternity leave, which was increased by enacting the Maternity Act recently, so that enhanced and strengthened the labor laws in India as well. Therefore, it increased the perception and therefore the ranking as a whole. All right. Then finally, enforcing contracts and resolving insolvency. Obviously, the insolvency bill, the out of the court settlements, and the judiciary itself. All of the three contributed well to improving our ranking in that domain. And finally, the resolve of the country to to get the non-performing assets issue resolved either through recapitalization or through reconstruction of the these assets are not unnoticed. So that is to be noted, that the efforts of resolving the NPA issue are not unnoticed by the organization. Therefore, that also helped us in increasing the ranking. So these were the broadly what helped us in increasing the ranking. And therefore, yeah, so that is largely what I wanted to talk about. So I hope that आपको समझ में आया कि what all 8 parameters are there. Procedure, time, cost are being judged, and the various reforms in terms of tax reforms, in terms of PAN-TAN reforms, in terms of National Judicial Data Grid, paid maternity leaves, then non-performing assets resolution, streamlining of process, making things online, making things easier, reducing the time of application, reducing the and making things easier for any business, are the thing which has contributed eventually for increasing the rank. Yet an important caveat which is to be attached is that the this ranking is based out of considering only two cities, which is Delhi and Bombay. So you can see that it goes both ways. First of all, there would still be many quarters in the rest of the country which requires even more attention, which requires improvement as a whole for the country to be a good investment destination. Secondly, this also undermines the fact that several of the other states which have functioned, जो बहुत और states हैं जो function कर रहे हैं, improvement कर रहे हैं ease of doing business के, वो unnoticed चले गए हैं in this ranking at least. Like for instance, if I'm not wrong, that Jharkhand has done has increased many folds and improved many folds in terms of ease of doing business. But क्योंकि हम this ranking takes only consideration of Delhi and Bombay, therefore those efforts will go unnoticed in this ranking at least. Therefore, therefore you see that we also have our own ease of doing business parameters in which we judge each and every state and have a healthy competition between the states for cooperative and competitive federalism. Therefore, that is to be noted, that it is not the whole country as a whole which has been considered here. It is only the Delhi and Bombay which has been considered. Therefore, keep that in mind. All right. So if ever a constructive criticism is asked, you can mention that about the ease of doing business ranking. Alright, so that is largely what I wanted to talk about. I hope it helps you in framing any question. It helps you in answering any prelims question related to ease of doing business ranking, and you would have a better holistic idea of how we improved, why we improved, and what are the areas where we need to we need to function more. So that is it from my side for today. And I just like to reiterate for the people who just joined, जो लोग अभी भी join किए हैं, कि every day at 10:30 from today going forward, I and Abhishek Srivastav alternatively will come on this channel, and talk about an important burning issue from the perspective of UPSC civil services preparation largely, and it will cater to also the other government examination, but it will primarily focus on the UPSC civil services preparation. So please tune in every day at around 10:30, 10:40, 10:40 between that time, and we'll be there for a period of 10, 15 minutes approximately. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Have a great Wednesday. Bye bye.